Welcome to the Hope for Today podcast. Today is day 21.
And today, we are walking right into, well, the absolute climax of the entire Exodus story so far.
Yeah.
We've seen the back and forth, the warnings, all that escalating tension. But chapters 10 through 12, this is the breaking point.
It really is. It feels like we're shifting gears. We've moved from, this tense negotiation to something much bigger. And it's not just about getting people out of a country. It feels like God is, well, he's building a new nation right before our eyes.
That's the perfect way to put it. It's a complete reset. I mean, we're going to see them get a new calendar, a new identity, even a new economy. But before all that, we have to get through the collapse. And that starts in chapter 10 with the eighth plague,
Yeah.
the locusts.
Right. And the reason God gives for this one is it's different. He tells Moses he's doing it so that, and I'm quoting here, you may tell your children and grandchildren how I dealt harshly with the Egyptians.
That just stops you in your tracks, doesn't it?
It does.
It's not just for Pharaoh anymore. This is generational. God is literally creating a history, a story so powerful that a grandfather 40 years from now can say, I was there. I saw the sky turn black.
And the description is just, it's terrifying. The locusts devour everything the hail left. It says the ground was black with them. Not a single green thing left, not a tree, not a plant.
Just imagine that for a second.
Yeah.
In that kind of society, that is a full-blown apocalypse.
Yeah.
It's total economic and ecological ruin.
Yeah.
It's so bad that Pharaoh's own officials, who are usually just saying, yes, sir, they finally crack. They basically turn to him and shout, do you not realize Egypt is ruined?
It's the first real crack we see in his regime. They're looking at their king like he's lost his mind. And of course, that forces Pharaoh back to the table. But he's still trying to control things. He says, okay, go, but only the men.
Classic move. If the women and children stay behind, the men have to come back. He's trying to keep his leverage.
But Moses isn't having it. He's firm. Young, old, sons, daughters, all the livestock, everyone.
Of course. So Pharaoh throws them out, the locusts come, and then we pivot straight to the ninth plague, the darkness.
And the scripture is so careful to describe this. It's not a storm. It's a darkness that can be felt.
Chilling, isn't it, that phrase?
It really is. It sounds so heavy, like it's pressing down on you.
Exactly. For 3 days, no one could even move. It's complete paralysis. But then you get this incredible contrast. It says, yet all the Israelites had light in the places where they lived.
So what do we make of that? Is it a localized weather event or something more?
The text presents it as completely supernatural. God is drawing a line in the sand, a literal one. On one side, you have chaos and paralysis in the dark. On the other, the Israelites have light and order. It's a physical demonstration of who belongs to whom.
And this finally pushes Pharaoh to his last desperate offer.
Right. He calls Moses back in and says, go, take the kids, just leave the livestock. He's still trying to hold on to the wealth.
The livestock is all they have left after the locust. It's the entire economy.
It is. But Moses' response here is, for me, one of the most powerful lines in the whole story.
Yeah.
He just says, not a hoof is to be left behind.
Not a hoof.
Yeah.
It's so absolute. And his reasoning isn't about money or property.
No, it's spiritual. He says, we don't know what we will need to worship the Lord until we get there.
That's such a profound idea.
Isn't it? He's basically saying, we can't hold anything back because we don't know what God is going to ask of us. Total obedience requires making all your resources available to God.
And that is the moment the negotiations just die. Pharaoh threatens Moses with death. See my face again and you will die. And Moses says, fine, I will never see your face again.
The bridge is burned. And that takes us right into chapter 11, the final warning. God reveals the last plague is coming, the death of the firstborn.
But before that, there's this weird little detail. It says, God made the Egyptians look on the Israelites with favor.
Yeah, and that Moses himself was highly regarded. You'd think they'd hate him for all this destruction. But it seems like there's a kind of respect born out of terror and awe. The people on the ground see that whatever power is with Moses, it's the real deal. They're terrified, but they're also impressed.
And then comes the actual warning. Every firstborn in Egypt will die. But to describe Israel's safety, God uses this really quiet, peaceful image. He says, not even a dog will bark.
It's a picture of perfect peace, isn't it? In Egypt, there will be this nationwide wailing, but in Goshen, total silence, total safety. God is showing he can protect his people completely, even while judgment is falling right next door.
Which brings us to chapter 12. This is the cornerstone, the Passover. And it starts with that calendar reset we mentioned. God literally says this month is to be for you the first month.
And we just can't skip over how huge that is. They're slaves. They live on Pharaoh's time. God says, no. Your life, your story, your calendar, it all starts now. Their identity is being redefined.
So let's get into the details because they are incredibly specific. On the 10th day, take a lamb.
A year-old male without any defect. And here's the interesting part. They have to keep it in their house until the 14th day.
I've always wondered about that 4-day period. Why wait?
Well, think about the human side of it. You bring an animal into your home for 4 days. The kids probably name it. It becomes a pet. It's not just a lamb, it's our lamb.
It creates a connection, an attachment.
Exactly. So that when they have to slaughter it on the 14th day, it's not some sterile, thoughtless act. It costs them something emotionally. It makes the sacrifice real. A life is being given for their lives.
And the most important part isn't even the meal itself, it's the blood. The instruction is to put the blood on the tops and sides of the door frames.
This is the critical part. And look at the promise in verse 13. When I see the blood, I will pass over you.
The wording there is so important. It doesn't say, when I see you're a good person, or when I see you're an Israelite.
No, it says, when I see the blood. The blood is the sign. It's the covering. The judgment isn't based on the merit of who's inside the house. It's based on the mark on the outside of the house.
And inside, they're eating this meal. Roasted lamb, bitter herbs, bread without yeast. The whole menu tells a story.
It really does. It's an edible history lesson. The bitter herbs to remember the bitterness of slavery. The unleavened bread. God is telling them, don't get comfortable, be ready to move now.
And even how they eat it reinforces that. Cloak tucked in, sandals on your feet, staff in your hand. Eat in a hurry.
It's a posture of active faith. You don't eat dinner with your sandals on in that culture. You take them off to relax. By putting them on, they're dressing for a journey that hasn't even started yet. They're expecting God to act.
It's such a powerful image. And then we get to midnight. The text is so blunt. The Lord struck down all the firstborn in Egypt, from Pharaoh's heir to the prisoner in the dungeon.
Unimaginable grief. And Pharaoh, the man who said, I do not know the Lord, he finally completely breaks.
He calls for Moses and Aaron in the middle of the night. It's pure panic.
Absolutely. Up. Leave my people. Go. Take your flocks. He's just throwing open the doors, desperate for them to be gone.
And then he says something that just shows how far he's fallen. He adds, and also bless me.
That's the total surrender. The man who claimed to be a god is now begging for a blessing from a prophet of the one true God. The power dynamic has been completely inverted.
And it's not just him. The Egyptian people are pushing them out. Hurry or we'll all die. And this is when they ask for silver and gold and clothing.
And the Egyptians just give it to them. It's almost like 400 years of back pay, all handed over in a single night. They don't leave like poor refugees. They leave as a wealthy nation.
So they start to move from Ramesses to Succoth. And the numbers are just staggering. 600,000 men plus women and children.
You're talking well over 2 million people. It's a logistical nightmare. But there's this little detail I love. It says a mixed multitude went with them.
Meaning non-Israelite.
Yeah, probably Egyptians or other slaves who saw what was happening and decided, you know what, I'm going with them. I'm choosing their God.
And then the text points out the timing. It says that at the end of 430 years, to the very day, they left.
To the day.
Yeah.
God is never late. The text says he kept vigil that night. He was watching. He was counting down the seconds to fulfill the promise he made to Abraham centuries earlier.
And because he kept vigil for them, they are told to keep a vigil for him for all generations. This establishes the Passover forever.
That's right. And the chapter closes with rules about who can eat the meal. It's a covenant meal. It's for those who are all in, who belong to the community of faith.
As we look back on all of this, it's overwhelming. The devastation, the terror, the death. But right in the middle of it all is this picture of a lamb.
That's the heart of it. God delivers his people through judgment. But he does it by providing a substitute. The lamb dies so the family can live. The blood covers them so that judgment passes over them.
And their role wasn't passive. They had to actually apply the blood to the door. They had to bake the bread. They had to have their sandals on.
Yes. Deliverance needed both God's incredible power and their active, obedient faith. They had to be ready to walk through that door the second it opened.
A powerful thought to end on. God provides the way, but we have to be ready to move.
Precisely. And that's where we leave them, on the move, heading into the wilderness, which is exactly where we're going next.
So much more to come. But for now, we'll pause here.
And that was it for day 21. Meet you on day 22 tomorrow.